We're the Exiles Galway. We're a HEMA group based in Galway, which is Historical European Martial Arts. I'm very fond of AthventureCon for allowing a bit of alternative culture to thrive in a more rural part of Ireland. I'd have killed for something like this when I was growing up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And so I like to come here and show people that that interest in history or swords, and whether it's through fantasy or history really, is that there's actually somewhere you can learn sword fighting.
Yeah.
In a relatively safe environment.
Wow, that is...
So are you both right-handed?
Yeah. But you're left-handed.
You're left-handed, cool. So left-handed, you want your left hand under the cross guard, right hand on the palm. Go the other way around. Yeah. So on your side, we're going to have the sword up on your right shoulder, left leg forward. So Fiora teaches to find the sword off the back leg.
Can I take some?
More modern fencing systems, we switch to this. Swords are lighter and faster, we fight with the front leg. While we're at the back leg, go back. Yeah. So,
Look like you're in it too. Yes, let's go!
So we've been training now for, I think I've been at this about 12 years. And what the idea is there's certain eras of history where manuals were left behind by famous swordsmen, and we are trying to study those manuals and see how they did that back in the time. And then we're using a bit of kind of frog DNA with modern martial arts to learn sword fighting again. So Olympic fencing is obviously a thing, we know that happens, but that's what this evolved from. So we're at an end point where it's a sport now, it's not really of a martial context. We're trying to get back to this, was like, how did this actually work on the battlefield? How did this work in a duel? You want to strike from the shoulder, not vertical. We're not quite doing like the Kempo samurai kind of strike, but we're not going around the side. We want the strike to come in, kind of inside us, and we're going to step through with the back leg as we do it. Strike straight forward. Yeah? Good. So the reason I like to be here is because everyone here really, I'd assume, has an interest in swords. There's a lot of people playing D&D, there's a lot of different weaponry. So I like to bring the weapons as a bit of show and tell, as a bit of the, okay, this is how it behaves in D&D, but this is how it behaves in real life. Because it's often they don't match up. I've got a male Hawberk over there, which, if anyone thinks that mail is light armour, mail is not light.
No, it's very heavy.
So it's little things like that, changing perceptions about how weapons worked, how they were used. So it's partially historical study, it's partially a martial art. And I like to be here as well as to show people that you can do this, that there are clubs around you that are teaching this, and it's usually a very warm and welcoming atmosphere. And it's not something you need to be a big, strong dude to do. It's a sword. They're actually quite a delicate instrument. Yeah. Fighting's a big part of it, wrestling's a big part of it, but anyone can use a sword. It's not limited to just big, strong dudes.
Yeah, and it's really cool. Like, I just saw earlier, like, I got like snippets of it, but you were showing self-defense, and it's a great way. Like, you were showing like with the dagger self-defense, but like you could use that in anything every day. Like, yeah, of course we're here at AthventureCon. There's role play, there's fantasy, all that. I don't imagine anyone's going to be running around Loughrea with a sword anytime soon. Yeah. But like in the event of like somebody being attacked anywhere, like they have that skill, that self-defense to defend themselves from like the dagger or whatever that you showed earlier. It's really cool that way though.
I'm always very keen to tell people what we teach is dagger, it's not knife. Knives are a different thing and they are terrifying. Yeah. But what we do teach is some basic self-defense. Yes. Yeah. And it's learning just basically how to occupy your own space, how threat perceptions, de-escalation, and then if you are grabbed, how to break grips, how to wrestle. So yeah, that's the more modern applications to it. We are using modern martial arts. We're just using it to kind of reverse engineer some historical martial arts. So for a Largo in Cruzada, this is where we're basically trying to keep the opponent away from you. So Diego is going to step in with a strike at Helen. And Helen is basically going to try and keep him away. So she doesn't want to get hit. So Helen's going to a Largo in Cruzada. Cool. Good stuff. Now back. So the idea, we'll do that again. So they've met in the Cruzada. Where this cross ends up kind of determines what happens next. So if Helen can see Diego's face, she's just going to thrust straight through. If Diego's giving blade pressure to prevent that, she's pushing across, Helen is going to move. So she's going to step out and come around it instead. So a lot of what we're feeling for is where those blades meet, how much pressure's there, where that cross is landing. But this has to be done through touch. We don't have time for the eyes to translate that and the brain to think about it. We just need to react. So they've met in the cross. And if we look, they're in what we call mezza spada. They're in the middle of the weapon. So this is kind of the weak, Look here, this is the strong, the middle of the swords. They're not quite close enough to grab each other yet. They can't reach one another for any kind of grappling or wrestling. And they're at the point where trying to step away from the top of the blade is quite dangerous. So what we can do instead is what we call a blade grab. So Diego's got the gloves on. He can grab Helen's weapon, clear that, clean out the way. There's a very important point when grabbing a weapon. Just reset again, points. Set it back up again.
Must be wearing gloves.
Gloves is a sound idea. But secondly, so when you grab, you don't grab it at the weak. Up here, it's sharpest up here, it's less sharp further down the blade again. If you put your flat of your palm against the flat of the blade and bring it down to your side, go ahead, Diego. There. He can now hold that down in his pocket here, and if Helen's trying anything funny to pull the blade back, she's getting a sword. So this is what we call Laugo incrustadas. This is where the defender really is trying to keep themselves safe and keeping the other person away from them. They're still using the weapon. We can choose to ignore that. We can basically decide that we want to close the grapple. We want to get to what we call the close game, or stretto. Lovely. So now you can see that they're both within range of grapple. They can reach one another now. The swords are already kind of past the point of the head. It's quite difficult to turn that sword point back in again. It's much more constructive now to use the offhand. So for Helen being left hand, Diego being right hand, to come away and start actually like grabbing the other person, grabbing the weapon, grabbing the hilt. Or using the other end of the weapon. We always think that just using the tip of the weapon is the thing to do, but the sword is a multi-tool. They can use the whole thing. So from that position, what they can both do at this position, yes, exactly, and pommel straight in. We use the rear end of the weapon. So cross guards, pommels are incredibly effective as well. They're unlikely to finish the fight, but in the description of the pommel strike, Fiore says, with this technique, I can remove at least 7 teeth, as I have proven. But he is a bit of a bragger. So, set the stretch away from side for me again. So as soon as we met there and there, both of them are able to do this technique by pivoting off to the side and sending the pommel towards the chin. What we can also do is adapt the dagger plays. So Fiore is all one art. What we do with wrestling, what we do with dagger, what we do with sword, all one system. So what he teaches you with the dagger works for sword. So this play here is called Ligadura Mazar. So once she's met here and here, she's going to cut through the middle, that's it, and wrap the arm, there, into an arm wrap. Middle bind, Ligadura Mazar. First master dagger, he shows, was making a stop here. Once we're at this position, we wrap and twist the arm. So we get into it slightly differently, but the play is the same. It's the sending out what we call posta longa and wrapping the arm. So, posta longa, this is out here, right? We can grab and turn the arm, or if we go past, we can hook and lock the arm here. It's fishing with posta longa, up, and wraps the sword arm. Yeah. So Diego strikes, Helen covers. Sword with one hand. Once again, she's going to send out posta longa. That's the position he's telling us to get to, which is exactly what we just got to from dagger. And where that exactly, once again, just where that action comes from, we have posta longa, starts here, right? Then we're grabbing and we're turning. So it's the same action. So we hit, yeah, disarm. And then the idea is we're going to follow this up with a takedown. The idea will be we come through and bring it to ground. So yeah, when you come to learn anything from us, you will be learning how to grapple, you will be learning how to throw, punch, kick, all the rest. So we do teach basic martial arts as well.
And what type of martial arts is it? Like, do you stem from? Is it karate or like?
My background was mostly Wing Chun, funnily enough, and so is Diego. Diego's a Wing Chun instructor over there. But honestly, there's a mixture. There's people who've done karate, there's people who've done BJJ and MMA. It's usually people who've done martial arts before and have found something like adjacent to it.
Yeah.
And are like, okay, well, how does this work with weapons? How do we apply this?
Yeah.
So a lot of us in it have a traditional martial arts background. but we're very much, that's not a requirement for entry.
Yeah,
That's,
of course.
That's
Yeah,
a requirement for developing it and understanding
Yeah.
it and driving it in new directions. But for someone who's never thrown a punch before in their life, they can still come and learn from us.
That's absolutely fantastic, like, because you said, like, it's for everyone. Women would absolutely love that, you know? And it, like you said, it's open for women, it's open for anyone.
It is.
Anyone who, like, it's a safe space, literally, for people to go and, like, work on themselves, find other people that are similar to them, and, like,
Absolutely.
you know, build
and
friendships.
I'm very glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because unfortunately our club can't run one this year, we're otherwise engaged, but we usually run an event for International Women's Day.
Oh,
We've ran one the
incredible.
last few years, where
Yeah.
basically we have female instructors and it's women only classes, just to give everyone a taster session.
Yeah.
Just to get over that barrier of nervousness of thinking, am I going to walk into a room full of macho guys, like,
Yeah.
throwing it and rolling each other around,
Yeah.
who are then going to be, you know, condescending? No, it's just like, no, right, women only space to come and try this. Now, we usually run it, Helen's actually running it this year, as she's coordinating the events, but there's events in Dublin and Belfast this year. I can't remember if Cork's doing one. But it's basically, we do try every year to do an International Women's Day event to encourage women into martial arts.
That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. And you said, like, HEMA is not just Galway; it's in all.
Yes, around the country.
It's all around
There's
the country.
a good few clubs in Dublin, obviously. Wexford, Cork, Belfast, and ourselves.
Yeah.
There used to be one in Leitrim. I don't think they're up and running anymore.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of clubs scattered around the country.
And ye do a lot of you have, like, a lot of different swords here as well. And then what is this called?
This is a poleaxe
And
or an azza.
do you actually teach people how to use that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Not with this one. This one's sharp, so
Yeah.
we don't swing this one at anyone else. But no, we do teach pole weapons as well. The great thing with Fiore's art is it's all one system. So what you learn with the dagger or the sword, you need to know to use this. You're basically doing the same thing again. So it's not like you're learning a whole different series of weapons. You're learning one fighting system that then applies to all the different weapons.
Oh, okay.
So we just focus the late 14th to early 15th.
Yeah.
So we're using replica long swords like
Yeah.
this one over here.
And what got you into this?
I've always done martial arts.
Yeah.
Probably I was about 13 or 14 when I started doing martial arts.
Yeah.
But then partially a love of history and fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, I've made most of my life decisions trying to be Aragon. If
I
I'm
was going to
honest.
say, who is your, like, inspiration? Like, there must be some swordsman that, like, inspired
Pretty much.
Aragon, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, it was just that, I was a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'd always liked swords and fantasy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd been doing martial arts for a long time. And then I saw that there was historically European martial arts as a thing.
Yeah.
So I started training then, and I've been at this about 12 years now.
And if someone wants to find out more about this, or if they want to even sign up for classes or something like that in their local area, where do we go? What happens?
HEMA Ireland.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's .ie or .com off the top of my head, but if you
And-
Google HEMA Ireland,
Yeah.
that's the main governing body's website, and all the different clubs around the country who are registered under HEMA Ireland will be on there. You'll be
Okay.
able to find contact details for the clubs on them.
And there's probably social medias as well, Instagram
Yeah,
and
that's
all
it.
of
Most
that,
of us,
yeah.
I keep meaning to set up our Instagram.
Okay, so
but-
they don't have an Instagram yet,
Yes.
but when they do, I'll put it in the description of the video.
But yeah, I'm terrible
Yeah.
at managing that.
No,
I'm
no,
afraid.
you're all good. So
But
do you have a Facebook?
We do. We're on.
Okay, yeah.
We have a Facebook. But best thing to do is just contact us at hemagalway@gmail.com.
Amazing.
And that's us. That's for the Exiles Galway now.
Fantastic.
Anyone else, direct your questions to HEMA Ireland, and someone there will pick it up.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh no,
Pleasure
like,
talking to you.
honestly, that was amazing.